Jonah. Nice little number that, isn't it? With a brown shoe. Fantastic look for the final day. Right, what have you gone with today? You gone with the linen? And look at this. Top Swedish special. Fantastic, Jamie.
Roy Keane was just one of my favourite United players of all time. One of the best players to wear the United shirt, and a player that United have never ever replaced.
Yeah, he drove that team. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. You know, if you're comparing talent-wise to that midfield, you're absolutely right. You know, if people ask me about Roy Keane, why is he so good? Why is he so good? I said, well, he's always got time on the ball. Always got time on the ball. He finds space on the pitch. And they always say, what's he the best at? Because he's not the best header of a ball. He's not the best passer of a ball over 40, 50 yards, diagonal balls like Beckham could do. He wasn't the best finisher. You know, Scholes in terms of in front of goal was better than Roy Keane. He was the best player I've seen playing a 15, 20-yard pass through midfield into a front man's feet. The best I've ever seen at that. I mean, he talked about the pace that he used to put on his passes. I talked about the story earlier where against Cyprus where he passed the ball and I gave it away. And he used to really rattle the ball into you, make sure you control it. I think Rio Ferdinand's talked about it. First day of training, people turn up and he tests them. He wants to know how good they are. You know, he is a technically gifted footballer, but he wasn't the best at any of those individual facets. But he drove that team on like you couldn't believe. I mean, the determination, the leadership, the drive. You know, never beaten. Just a fabulous all-round footballer.
You played with him at club level over 30 times.
Country
level, sorry.
Country, yeah.
What was he like to be around? Not necessarily on the pitch, but did you want to always give your best when you were with him?
Definitely.
You never wanted to...
There was always pressure. There was always pressure playing with Roy, you know, because his standards were like you can't believe. I mean, honestly... look, the World Cup stuff we'll perhaps talk about in a bit more detail if you like, but he wanted the best for everything. He wanted the best pitch. He wanted the best training facilities, the best travel. He wanted everything the best for his teammates, and his standards were just absolutely ridiculous. In training, you know, if you're on his team in a five-a-side, you made sure you won the game. End of story.
Really?
I mean, you just can't,
even at that?
The determined. He had to win. It didn't matter. There was a drive and a desire about him that I don't think I've ever seen in any other footballer.
Was he underrated?
I think everyone realises how good a player he was.
If
you start talking about
we've
best
never
ever
said,
Premier League teams, Roy Keane gets in it.
Yeah, but we've never ever said world class with Roy Keane, have we?
Well, that's what I think because if you were to compare, say, Roy Keane and Zinedine Zidane, in terms of technical ability, Zidane is a much better footballer than Roy Keane. But if you're talking about an influence on a team, Roy's influence on a side was huge. You know, he did it for Ireland. Of course he did. He was the best player. You know, of the Ireland squad, he was the one player that would have walked into any other international team. Absolutely would have walked into any other international side. No problem at all. But he did it at United as well, where he's got world-class players around him. And he drove them on. And he was the one that set the benchmark. He set the standards that everyone else had to follow.
I wasn't there. We drew 2-2 in Holland in that qualifying campaign.
Yeah.
And the lads were buzzing after the game. Everyone was buzzing after the game. Apparently, you know, come back. You know, we've got a draw 2-2 in Holland. But Roy's like, we're talking about why are you happy?
Yeah.
We're just giving up a 2-goal lead. We're drawn 2-2. So. You know, he was never he was one of those people never satisfied. He always wanted more. So
was it that he set a standard so high? It was a Manchester United, was it?
Well, Man United, whether it's Man United or whether it's him personally, you know, he sets his standards up there, and he expects everyone else to follow. You know, he's the hardest person to train with because
I was going to ask you, was he?
Well, he demanded so much from everybody. You know, if you're losing a five-a-side, he'd be snapping and snarling and growling at everyone and give me the ball and. Because he had that winning mentality, and it didn't matter whether it was five-a-side, whether it was an international, whether it was playing cards or whatever. He wanted to win.
Yeah, and Clinton Morrison had a funny story about him. I think he misplaced a pass or something, and he told Roy to shut up. And he went back in at half time expecting to be roasted. And but Roy actually came over and told him that he was right. It was a bad pass.
Oh, really?
He was really worried that he was going to kick off.
He did that. He did that to me once. I think it might have been Cyprus, and we beat them 4-0 in the end, but he played with the ball in midfield. I miscontrolled it, and they went on the attack and had a shot. Shea saved, and he gave me an absolute rocket. But you think he's right, because I shouldn't have miscontrolled it, but he fired it. I mean, he fired passes in. His 10, 15-yard passes, he absolutely rocketed them into you, but testing your touch and everything. But he was absolutely right. I shouldn't have given it away.
Yeah.
But and that's the sort of thing he demands, more from everyone around him, and gets the best from players around him. Because next time I was thinking, next time he gives him a ball, there's no way I can miscontrol it after what he's just given me.
And would he have brought your game up?
Yeah, definitely. I think he brought everyone's game up. I mean,
would he give you any advice, basically, like, or to make us about?
To be honest,
would he say anything that you could maybe?
Roy was very open. Roy was always very open to talking about things, and I used to grill him. I was a Man United fan, so I used to grill him about Man United all the time, and what do you do? What's the extra stuff that you do? And what makes Man United better than everybody else?
Yeah.
So I used to grill him all the time.
Almost like a fan.
Hated it. Yeah, exactly. He probably hated it. He probably absolutely hated it. But on occasions he was so open about it and willing to sort of pass that information on as well. So he was great.